Hello and welcome to the first episode in the new series we're calling Quick Fixes. These quick fixes are short podcast episodes, typically 10 to 20 minutes long, designed to give you a basic overview of various aspects and processes of our government. In this episode, we're going to talk about the quintessential civic duty in a democracy, voting. To make things easy, we'll break down the who, what, when, where, why, and how of voting in Oklahoma, though I should admit now that we're not going to go in that order. My name is Andy Moore, and to begin, let's start with the big question: why is voting so important? Voting is important because it's the most direct way that we, the people, can shape and influence our government. And think about it. Our government is made up of hundreds of people that were elected by other people. Friends, neighbors, and a whole bunch of complete strangers that decided these people are the ones that should lead our state, write our laws, and operate our judicial system. You and I have a say in who those people get to be. Unfortunately, Oklahoma has one of the lowest rates of voter turnout in the entire country. During the November 2014 election, an election that decided Oklahoma's governor, lieutenant governor, the entire state House of Representatives, a third of the state Senate, several representatives to Congress, and dozens of other positions, less than 20% of eligible voters actually cast a ballot. That means for every 5 people who could vote, 4 of them stayed home. So perhaps a better question is, why don't more people vote? Well, some people think their vote doesn't matter. But as we just explained, that your vote really does matter, far more than most people realize. Decisions are made by those who show up, and 80% of Oklahoma voters allowed the other 20% to make those decisions for them. Every year, there's a whole bunch of elections at the local, state, and national level that are decided by just a handful of votes. Don't let someone else choose for you. There's another common reason people don't vote. Because they aren't registered or don't know that they're eligible to vote. I guess that makes the who part of the story, as in, who's eligible to vote. So you're eligible to vote in Oklahoma if you're a U.S. citizen, a resident of the state of Oklahoma, and 18 years of age or older, with 2 exceptions: convicted felons and persons deemed incapacitated by a court. An important caveat about felons also: while they may not be able to register or to vote during the time of their original sentence, what most people don't know, and I just recently found out, that once someone has served their sentence, they can re-register and they can vote again. If you've recently moved, you'll need to re-register to vote at your new address. And something else that's important to know: if you were registered to vote in the past but you haven't voted for a few years, you may have been dropped from the voter rolls, and that means you can't vote until you re-register to vote again. There are a few things as frustrating and embarrassing as showing up to your polling place only to be told that you can't vote. Good news, though. You can check your voter registration status on the State Election Board website, which you can find at ok.gov/elections. Click on Voter Info, and then select Online Voter Tool. Now that we've covered the why and the who, let's move on to the how and where do you register to vote. The how is easy. All you got to do is fill out a 1-page voter registration form and send it in to your county election board. That's it. It's really that easy. The where part's pretty easy too, actually. You can find voter registration forms at your local post office, tag agency, most libraries, county election board offices, and some government agencies. And you can also just download the form from the State Election Board website. The form's free wherever you go, and there's no charge to actually register. Just fill it out and send it in to the address that's on the form. Now you gotta buy a stamp, and if you don't have one, you can drop it off in person at the County Election Board office. Or if you complete the form at a tag agency or at a government agency, they'll probably just mail it in for you. Now you'll notice on the form that you can select if you want to register as a member of a particular political party. Oklahoma currently recognizes 3 political parties, so you can choose one of those or no party at all. However, you should know that when it comes to the primary elections, only registered Republicans can vote in Republican primaries. Democrats allow both registered Democrats and independents to vote in Democratic primaries. When is also important when registering to vote. You can technically register or re-register any time during the year, but there are some limitations. For example, Oklahoma does not have same-day registration, so you can't just show up at the polling place and expect to register and vote on the same day. As a general rule of thumb, you need to register about a month before an election in order to be able to vote. Also, you cannot change your party affiliation between April 1st and August 31st in even-numbered years. You can update your address if you move, but you can't change parties. This is because even-numbered years are the general election years, and the parties don't want you voting in one primary and then changing your affiliation to the other party before the general election. Once your registration has been approved, the county election board will mail a voter registration card to you. Your voter ID card lists your name, address, political affiliation, and the polling place for your voting precinct. You aren't required to take your voter ID card with you when you go to vote, but it's usually helpful if you do. And if for some reason your voter registration application was not approved, you'll receive a letter from the county election board explaining why and what you need to do about it. So that brings us to the end of our quick fix episode on the who, what, when, where, how, and why of voting in Oklahoma. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me at andy@letsfixthisok.org or go poke around on the state election board website. And that address again is ok.gov/elections.